Okay.
Let's
See the next one. Go
Let's do the pick 2. Yeah, you're running behind.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, let's just move through these.
All right, time for your pick 2. Jay, I give you 3 guys. You tell me 2 that you like, 1 that you don't. Let's start at quarterback. Kirk Cousins facing the red-hot Atlanta Falcons. How about this? Andy Dalton facing the Seattle Seahawks. They got their lucky win on Monday night. And then Jay Cutler facing a suddenly juicy matchup against Kansas City. Who you got?
I don't know if you did this intentionally because my rankings just came out, but right now I have Cousins at 10, Andy Dalton at 11, and Jay Cutler at 12.
Did I? Really? I did not know that.
I don't know if you did that. So based on that, I will go Cousins and Dalton. Cutler has probably the best matchup of the group.
Sure.
In terms of going against the Chiefs. Chiefs have given up a lot of passing yards in the last 2 weeks, but at the same time, they're not a bad defense, and the Bears are not exactly an upper-level group of receivers. Marcus Wilson is in my top 60 for the week among receivers, him and Eddie Royal, but they're at the bottom. If Alshon Jeffrey isn't 100%, I like Cutler for the week, getting maybe 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, maybe 2 interceptions, but I think Cousins and Dalton deserve the right to be played ahead of him.
I think Dalton, this matchup scares me. Look, he has played very well. The team has played very well. Obviously, one of the 4 undefeated teams left in the league. Seattle kind of struggled a little bit. I feel like if the Bengals get ahead, they're going to shut Dalton down. They're going to give the ball to Jeremy Hill. They're going to give the ball to Gio Bernard. And you're not going to see him compile the stats we've seen him compile the last couple of games. Last week against the Chiefs, as a matter of fact. I'm taking Kirk Cousins, who looked pretty good against Philadelphia, and Jay Cutler, who came back and I thought had a nice game in his first game back in Chicago.
And let's remember, what was it, 2 years ago? It's kind of irrelevant, but Cousins, after RG3 got benched for those final 3 games last year by Shanahan, Cousins came in there against the Falcons and lit him up for something like 360 yards passing.
So. Looked great. It's a tough matchup, but liked how he's been playing. Running back matchup for you, Jay. LeGarrette Blount. Oh, we're doing a Patriot. At Dallas. Jeremy Hill, as we mentioned, against Seattle. I love this one. And then Doug Martin, the muscle hamster, at home against Jacksonville. Who you got? Who you don't got?
Well, once again, Doug Martin probably has the best matchup, but at the same time, LeGarrette Blount is coming off a game where he scored 3 touchdowns for the Patriots, and Jeremy Hill is coming off a game where he had 3 touchdowns, okay? Yep. Everyone's freaking out about Jeremy Hill. Here's the deal. Yes, he's only on pace for 160 rushing yards, but he's also on pace for 20 touchdowns, okay? Obviously, you'd rather have last year's numbers of 1,339 total yards and 9 touchdowns, but if he gets anywhere near 15 to 20 touchdowns this year, I'm pretty sure that eventually his rushing yards will even out. Keep in mind, he struggled last year in September as a rookie and then had a monster October, November, December. So, Doug Martin probably has the best matchup. But right now, Doug Martin is just a safety play. He's a guy that's going to get you 73 yards rushing, maybe a touchdown. He's going to get you that 9 points every week. But really, he's never going to be a 20-point guy again.
I'll take the 73. You got LeGarrette Blount and the Patriots. I mean, he could not even be on the roster by Sunday. Let's just leave that where it is. I've got Jeremy Hill and I've got Doug Martin. One more running back matchup for you. I say matchup. These are 3-packs. I got one more bundle for you, Jay. C.J. Anderson, keeping it in the division at Oakland. These are all road guys, by the way. Alfred Morris at Atlanta. Dion Lewis at Dallas. You still have Dion Lewis in your flex-ish region there. What do you think of Dion Lewis? Let's start there.
ESPN actually has Dion Lewis as like the number 10th or 11th running back for this week in standard scoring league. But on the assumption that he'll get more reps or at least have more scoring opportunities than Blount, I just don't see that. Blount is money, short yardage situations and at the goal line.
Yep.
And even when the Patriots get to the goal line, Tom Brady is not averse to throwing the ball on the 1-yard line, things like that. Right. You could make a case that all 3 of these guys are potential stars. All 3 of them have probably been ranked in my top 15 at some point early in the year. But right now I have all 3 as backups, essentially. I would probably go Anderson and Morris. Dion Lewis, if he was going against a really bad team like the Jaguars or something like that, you're going to figure that everyone's going to get, real fat and happy on that. But at the same time, Dallas has a pretty good defense. I know they gave up a lot of yards to Drew Brees, but they gave up a lot of just dink and dunk yards before that last big bomb where they had bad defense against C.J. Spiller. I still believe in Alf Morris, but he does have Chris Thompson, and he does have Matt Jones to contend with.
Yep.
If obviously they're ranked 1, 2, and 3 for me after the top 30. So if you want to go Lewis, that's fine, but I'll go Anderson and Morris.
Yeah, I'm taking Anderson. Thompson and Thompson was the guy who I had to look up, who I think is just as good as Matt Matt Jones. I would have called him Matt Davis for some reason. Matt Jones, he's like just as fast, not quite as big, and obviously Morris is losing some volume on that. Give me Anderson, and I hate to say it, but I'll take Dion Lewis against that Dallas Cowboys defense. Wide receiver matchup for you. Mike Evans facing Jacksonville. James Jones home against St. Louis. Pierre Garcon home against the Atlanta Falcons. Give me 2.
I'll keep this short and sweet. Jacksonville has the second worst pass defense in the NFL. Yeah, they don't play the Patriots every week, and the Patriots certainly carved up them.
Yeah.
But they also scored on 9 straight possessions. Jacksonville almost beat a Colts team that had Matt Hasselbeck. So congrats to that. They almost pulled it off. They should have pulled it off. That said, Pierre Garcon is the number 1 receiver for Kirk Cousins, who has a really good matchup. Yes. Mike Evans is the number 1 receiver, although Vincent Jackson had a really good game last week. Jameis has gotten double-digit points in his first 4 games, whatever it is. Wow. He's looking well. Here's the deal: James Jones going against the Rams. I don't see the Packers going for 30. And the Rams have pretty good corners. Give me in a close one. Give me Evans and Garcon.
Evans and Garcon. I'll take James Jones to Pierre Garcon. I don't love the matchup like you do. I think the Falcons have been playing really well under Dan Quinn so far. But a bit. The Vincent Jackson thing scares me a lot. I will take Garcon. I'll take Jones. One more wide receiver matchup, Jay. Brandin Cooks at Philadelphia. Rueben Randle facing San Francisco. That's the Sunday night game. Robert Woods at Tennessee. What do you make of these 3?
I don't like any of them, frankly. I think Eli has a pretty good matchup, and he does like throwing to Randle. But at the same time, the only reason I have Robert Woods at 36 is because I hate every Bills receiver when Sammy Watkins is out. Yeah, Percy Harvin's going to rise up every now and then and have a game of 10 targets, but he's never reliable. Last week, going against the NFL's worst pass defense, Harvin should have just killed. He should have gone for 140 and a touchdown, all that stuff. I hate the Bills. I love Tyrod Taylor, but Tyrod Taylor is very Brady-esque in the fact that he spreads it around to people. Yeah. So he'll have good numbers at the end, and he runs well, unlike Brady. But at the same time, there's just not that bell cow guy, and Sammy Watkins hasn't proven to be that guy yet. So, it's a good question. It's a close question, but for me, I'm still going Cooks because he has Breeze, and give me Randle because of Eli.
Yeah, Randle because of Eli. You might be the only person that's ever called Tyrod Taylor Brady-esque.
Well, in the sense that he spreads it out.
Yeah, he spreads it right in any sort of
very Breeze-esque too, because Tyrod had he found Charles Clay last week, 9 catches for 111 yards, but for the most part, you're going to see a lot of 5 or 6 guys having 4 to 7 catches every Sunday.
I'm taking Brandin Cooks. I'm taking Rueben Randle. One more for you, tight ends. Marty Source Rex at KC. Gary Barnidge is on my computer screen here. He's at Baltimore. I understand he's a tight end. And, of course, Tyler Eifert facing the Seahawks. Gary Barnidge, am I pronouncing that right? Is it Barnidge? Yes. Barnidge? You like Gary Barnidge? He's in your top.
I don't know enough.
You've got him 9th so far.
I haven't done my rankings yet. At the time we're doing this, I have yet to do tight end rankings, so I don't know where you're getting.
You had him 9th. This was last week. Okay.
That was last week. Yeah, congrats. He scored 2 touchdowns last 2 weeks. That's great. Okay, but let me pull you a stat here that may change your mind. I wrote this on my 15 fun facts today, which are posted on my blog here. Okay, last one. Here's an interesting dichotomy. I'm going to quote myself verbatim here.
Quote it.
The surprisingly competitive Browns have scored 20-plus points in 3 consecutive games, a franchise feat that had not occurred since early November of last year, so almost a full calendar year, okay? Wow. On the negative side, however, Cleveland hasn't eclipsed the easily attainable threshold of 17 points or more in their last 7 trips to Baltimore, okay? With anemic averages of 11 points per game. So I put it to you, Greg. I put it to you, Josh. Do you really want... That's from Animal House. Do you really want Josh McCown? Do you really want Gary Barnidge anchoring your DraftKings lineup? If you're in a 12-team league, you're probably going to start Gary Barnidge. But do you really want him anchoring your low-cost thing against a Baltimore defense that really isn't that bad against the pass?
If he's cheap, if I can get him for like $5,200,
well, he is going to be cheap. Yeah. But
if he's that cheap,
find a way.
If he's that cheap, give me Tyler Eifert and give me Bennett. If I could spend the money on those guys in a daily fantasy, otherwise. Gary, I'm going to get to know you. All right, that's all the time we have. We're out of show. Thank you for watching Kickoff Express. We will probably have another show next week. Hope you tune in for that. For Jay, I'm Josh. Until then, we'll see you on the internet. Take care.